Ah, and we're live, but I am not visible. Hold on. Ooh, no lighting. Hold on. I'll be right with you. Must do this. Must set up the whole studio. How irresponsible of me. Turn on the lights. Lights, camera, action. Put on the green screen. Ooh. And let there be light, he said. All right, hold on. Green screen coming. Need to get it all in place. All right. There we go. Need to tie it down. Action stage left. Not done yet. Almost there. Need some backlighting. Okay, make it a little taut. There we go. All right, now, here we are. Excuse me. Dun dun dun! Like magic. All right, we got all corners. Where's the middle of the screen? Right here? Here I am. Looks pretty good. All right, bring this in a little closer. Why do I look so tanned? Maybe there's some adjustment that I can do here. Of course, I should have been doing this all beforehand, but I was irresponsible in doing other things. All right, color correction. Let's try the gamma. Let's boost the gamma just a little bit. Maybe I look a little bit more alive there. Bring down the contrast a little bit. I think that's it. I think with the contrast down a little bit, I can take away the wrinkles under the eyes. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. What do you think? Looking good? Do I get your seal of approval? No, not too much weed. Not enough. I don't know why people think that I smoke a lot of weed. I don't. Hardly ever, actually. All right, I like that. Seems subdued. Cool. Right behind me is my Discord group, and currently showing the channel of our AI setups. The AI setups are an artificial intelligence system that looks back at about 20 years of data, literally millions of combinations of possible strategies, and then gives us setups that are statistically based. It's very, very cool. The title of this episode is Goldilocks Jobs Report and the Market Size Relief. Although now it's having some Joneses because inventories were slightly high, on the high side. They were slightly outside the consensus, which basically means that if inventories are bloating, that means that not pushing them out to the customer. And maybe the customer's not consuming them as fast, so the implication of that is maybe the economy really is slowing. Of course, we have all this stuff in the news. The news is constantly trying to downplay the economy, the administration, and everything else. The doom and gloomers, they want it to be down. They want it to be down. They want us to die so that they can rise to power. Those doom and gloomers. It's really disgusting, quite frankly. So what you're seeing in the upper right here is the market. And we were on a high here after the Goldilocks jobs report. Remember, I said we needed a jobs. Well, I said this last night in the 11 p.m. show, that we needed a jobs report that wasn't too bright, too dull, just about right, and that's what we got. And so the market took off in response to that, with the idea that the Fed would be holding back a little bit. Now, what I don't understand is this inventory report basically reinforces that. And so why is the market coming down now? They're kind of fickle. And that gets me to this whole idea about the Fed. Why do we need the Fed? Why are we so transfixed on the Fed as if they're going to tell us what is what? How the economy's doing or not doing? We know better than them. They're sitting in their ivory towers. They know shit. They have access to a lot of information, which most people think that they're manipulating. I know that sounds a little conspiratorialist, but I think the Fed really is more of a political. Well, let's say that I would say that's half political, half real world. And the fact that there's any politics involved in it at all is really troublesome. Really troublesome. Really bad. So that's why I tweeted out today, we should abolish the Fed. Abolish the Fed! We don't need you. Let's go back to greenbacks. Screw all this fiat bullshit. But not magic money. No, magic money is not the answer. And I'm speaking of crypto and Bitcoin and all that crap. It might have some usefulness somewhere down the line, but certainly not now. Now, of course, all these dweebs that are out there, these millennial guys that have been transfixed on crypto, who are totally attached to that idea, would disagree. They think that that's the only way to go. Quite frankly, I'm really not enamored with the idea of handing over our economy to a bunch of dweeb millennials. Come on, market. Catch your sensibility. Start the Santa Claus rally. Really don't understand. We may need the plunge protection team to come back in here and say, "What the fuck are you doing? We told you to go up!" Yeah. They're having a hard time getting beyond this point. They're saying, "You're ruining all the work that we put in last night. Must push it up." All right. Let's not dwell on this. When you are attached to such things, it's really not good. So we are going to go back into the world, the fantasy world. There we are. What, do they have background music on this? Is background music the way to go? I mean, I would much prefer to hear footsteps. These walks through these virtual walkthroughs are really kind of surreal too. I mean, they have the camera on some kind of gyroscopic pod or handle. How you doing, buddy? Neo coming down to visit me. And you know, nobody walks through the woods like they're floating, like they're some kind of witch of Eastwick. You know, it just doesn't happen that way. We stumble on rocks and stuff. We drag our feet. We kick stones. You know, we have make it a little bit more real. Then it would feel real. But right now, it just doesn't feel real. I feel like, let's see. No, not working for me. See, now we're going down a little incline here. So I'll just, so we're going down a little incline here. We're right on the edge. These rocks could let way and we could slip and fall into that stream. Hi, Neo. He's going to bark at me very soon. What do you want? What do you want? He's staring at me. He's going to bark. What do you want? I don't know what you want. So, yeah, we had a Goldilocks report. Really quite good. You know, in the scheme of things, in terms of what we were looking for. All to try to appease our fear of the Fed. I mean, the fact that we even have to talk about things like that. That we're hoping that the economy will be not so hot, not so good, but just about right temperament so that the Fed won't punish us. What the fuck is that? That is bullshit. We should have a Wild West economy. Just let it go. Don't try to fix it. Let it go. All right. We got a lot of comments in here. Oh, hi, baby. How you doing? Here he is. He's such a good boy. That's Neo. Neo is looking great. He is looking great. What do you want? Sit. Hey, sit. Come on. Sit. Lie down. Lie down here. There you go. Just hang out here. I have a feeling that he wants to go out. What a time. Lousy timing. All right, I thought I heard somebody say starting to sound like Tone Vase. Who is that? Sarah Madney 07. Got to get a new name. That's too. You're starting to sound more like Tone Vase. By the way, I've never seen him. Only heard about him from you. Well, then, what the fuck are you talking about? Why don't you go watch? You need to watch. You need to watch Tone. And make an informed opinion, not a bullshit opinion. Because I'm nothing like Tone Vase. Christmas rally, PowerPoint last night, no use cases in crypto. You're starting to become ridiculous. Starting. I've been ridiculous for a long time. Get that through your head. All right, I got my biz partner. He sent me 4 messages. What in the world is he saying here? He's trying to make a point. I wish I could show you this. That's funny. So what I was referring to there is that I have another business. Oh, here's the other businessman calling. Hey, man, how you doing? Yeah, it is funny. I just want you to know that I am intermingling my show. I'm on my show right now. No, that's okay. That's okay because I saw your stuff come in. I said, man, my business partner, he just gave me 4 messages. I guess I have to look at this. And I said, I wish I could tell you guys about it. It is hilarious. That's right, right. But we're talking about the Young Turks, so friggin' fools. They're and I've been talking about the Fed and how foolish they are, but the Young Turks, they take it to a whole new level. Yeah, yeah. Unreal. Unreal. It's gonna be interesting. So they did a show on it, huh? Oh, they're tweeting out, getting us all prepared. Uh, right, right, right. Okay, and maybe we should work that into our overall information barrage that we have with the company. We have yet to put our mixer video up there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I better get back to the show. I think some people are getting a little saying, "Hey, what the fuck, man?" All right. Talk to you later. Yeah. So I have a business that is involved in corporate intelligence, and we're just talking about some of the goings-ons in the world. Anyways, getting back to this whole thing about, yeah, you Keston saying, yes, the market is still red, dude. It is still red. However, the big thing that I was talking about was the huge move off the bottom. Huge move off the bottom. But see, now we're going down again. What is this? The plunge protection team is going to have to come back in. They will have to come back in and save the day. I just... See, this is the problem with being tied to the Fed. That is a real problem. The Fed fucks us up in the head. Makes us make bad decisions. That attachment to them. And it's not a voluntary attachment. They have essentially wrapped themselves around us like a python. And when they decide to squeeze, we feel it. We're begging them, oh, please. Really, really, really poor. But that's the banks for you. And I guess what I'm doing right here is I am making the argument, I guess, for some crypto dildos. Well, then we need crypto, and then we'll be released of the Fed. We'll never have to worry about them again. That's bullshit. So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to probably make another run down here, and the plunge protection team will come to the rescue again and say, hey, up. We're going up. I hope. Hope that's what happens, because this is ridiculous. Really, really bad. Yes, the millennials are the future. Get off the high horse. They may be the future, but I'm going to be alive for many, many more years, so I can stay on my high horse. I could give a shit. When they have the future in their hands, then I'll let it go. I won't be doing this show. I won't care. But right now I care. And I'd like to slap them upside the head. Give them a can of whoop ass. Let them understand what life is all about, because right now they don't know. Winners never quit. Hodl till zero. Is your AI still profitable? Yes, it is. It's 100. Actually, since we've been in the room, it has been, or opened up the service, it has, I think, something like 88 or 90% profitable. And all the calls that we've made in the room so far have been 100% profitable. I don't know why so many focus on the Fed so much and what you think they should do. Isn't it better to just focus on what they will do? So in other words, just, go with the Fed. You can't beat the Fed. The problem is that the Fed is all about surprises, what they're going to do. We're all waiting to see what they're going to do, and we're reacting instead of actually investing. That's the problem. Yeah, it's not PowerPoint, PPT. It's Plunge Protection Team. I did a video on it last night. That's correct. And I think you're right, Delta Digger. The Dems will do anything to crush the Trump economy. Anything. Anything. And they're really, really going for it. All right. I'm just wondering if there's much more to say in this episode. I'm really dismayed on why the market is going down right now. That makes no sense. No sense at all. It was the perfect jobs report. Perfect. Who is doing this? I gotta wonder, and why are they doing this? Who is exacting these measures? Doesn't make any sense. Oh well. Was your S&P position part of your AI service because you think you said you were down a lot? No, it's not. See, I was playing two different things. I was playing the service as one stream, and then I was making a bigger bet on a Santa Claus rally. And it still looks good for the Santa Claus rally. It's just this pain that you have to endure, and it's really, you don't like to endure the pain. I don't know if there's any way to escape it, though. And right now we're enduring that pain. I think, I just don't know, how to express that. But, you just got to be patient, put it aside. Don't, yeah, you're right, Ernie. Casper is saying, Ernie, no pressure, no diamonds. Zero says, the USD is going down, just accept it. Your way of life is done. You're going to need to go back to the drawing board. You want to know some good crypto projects? He's a troll. I think that might be like, what's his name, Trad? That might be him in another body or something. Hi, Jeff. How you doing? Never give people a free Santa Claus rally without a few shakeouts. Otherwise, it would just be free money. Well, I wouldn't characterize what we've gone through so far as free money. I mean, there has been quite a bit of shakeout. I'm just wondering how many times we have to go back to this well. Makes no sense. Just coming down just to give more of the same. See, the nature or the gravity of this move right now is not commensurate with the economic report that came out. And so that's the thing that, see, this is the thing that the Fed, they get in your head and make you behave this way. And this is the problem. Make you, overreact. And so then it becomes a very difficult proposition on how to react. Because you know that if you overreact in the right way, you'll make out spectacularly. And then when you're thinking you're doing right, then all of a sudden it turns around because sentiment has shifted based on some other unknown. I don't know. Need to plug into the matrix. Well, a lot of people think that the jobs report was actually okay. I mean, it was within consensus. It was on the lower end of consensus. They have their range. And so it wasn't so low that it was a negative on the economy. It wasn't so high that that might trigger the Fed to say, hey, we're going to be more hawkish, or we need to, curb interest rates even more. Or, I'm sorry, raise interest rate, whatever. Raise interest rates more, or put more pressure on this economy and slow it down. Don't let it heat up. And that's the way the market took it at first, and the market started to take off. That got digested, and then there was another narrative that started to build. It's like they're second-guessing themselves. And then an inventory report comes out that's slightly negative, and then they see that, and then it starts coming down. Ernie, I feel dismayed. I've been trying to debate your position for 3 shows now, USD being my main point, but you still call me a troll. Because your point is that somehow the USD is finished and Bitcoin is the successor, and it's just total bullshit. I can't take you seriously if that's your point. I just can't. That's the problem. I mean, crypto right now is a fucking joke. That's what it is. It's a fucking joke. So, if you want to argue real world shit, then I have no problem with that. But if you want to argue crypto as a substitute for all our ills, then you're off base, man. You're living in a fucking dream world. You're living in fantasy. Okay, if that's not your point, then elucidate your point. Just elucidate it. Say something that makes sense. Dude, the markets are fake. Yeah, well, see, that's a conspiratorialist view. And I'm sure that there are some markets that may seem fake, and they are manipulated, and things like this happen today, and you wonder, well, oh, man, what the fuck's going on? Because the plunge protection team comes in yesterday, they boost the market up, you think, okay, they did their job. Market accepts it, moves on, reacts appropriately to the Goldilocks effect. And then some other minor report comes out that's just slightly off. And then the market dumps again. See, there's something else that's going on. There's some other manipulation. There's something else happening here. I don't want to argue past world. I want to argue real world. Well, then stop saying that you want to argue, then just say it. State exactly what your proposition is in clear and exacting English, and I'll respond to it. Booger's Guy, they say Bitcoin was uncorrelated. It is uncorrelated. Completely. It's uncorrelated to everything. It's when they say that it's correlated they're always talking about some very small segment in time. As if that now, Bitcoin is now correlated. And then tomorrow, well, it's uncorrelated now. And then the next day, well, it's correlated again. That's bullshit. It's either correlated or it's not. Well, Jeff is saying markets aren't supposed to make sense over a single day or time frame. No, you're absolutely right. But there's got to be some conclusion, to the back and forth that we've been doing. And in terms of time frame, there are some time frames that are significant, especially coming in here after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving. This first week is usually that shakeout, and then we decide whether or not we're going to do that Santa Claus rally. And to me, it looks like that. I mean, it doesn't look like we should be going down, for instance. It looks like we definitely should be going up. And maybe that I have a cognitive bias there. Or maybe I'm living on hopium. And all of this is just an illusion. Michael Mack is asking, what sectors are you more bullish or bearish on? Well, right now, I am bullish across the board, except for maybe financials. But I'm not looking at it from a sector point of view. I'm playing the entire market as a whole, so I'm not really concerned about a specific market. I think most markets, including technology and financials and others, have taken a pretty good hit here over the past several weeks, almost the whole year. And there's got to be some conclusion to all of this. And to me, it seems like, now is the time for that conclusion. We're running into the end of the year. A lot of these fund managers are going to want to end up, if they can, with a positive year at least. I mean, who wants to end with a negative year? Alex, the Huawei news is significant too. Nun says maybe some institutionals are taking advantage of the Fed slowdown to rebalance their portfolios. That could be. Snedmeister, the only conclusion I take from it is people are uncertain and nervous. Well, that goes without saying. Ciro, you say that crypto has no use cases. I never said that, ever. I never said that. There are lots of use cases. It's just that most of them are bullshit. But you speak from a conservative has-been perspective. What the fuck does that mean? You think the current status quo is the right one, but it's not. All right, so you've totally mischaracterized my position, my thought process, and my outlook. So now I just can't take you seriously. And you go on to say, I think you have a cognitive bias for the USD and American dominance, but this is changing and for the good. No. The U.S. is really the only good that is happening in this world right now. Really, the only good. There is nothing else out there right now. And it's not a cognitive bias, it's a reality. I mean, are you willing to succumb to this sort of globalism type idea, this collectivism idea? If you are, then you are the problem. Individualism is still the ultimate reality. It's the only moral reality. So Keston says, I just can't see a long-term uptrend in the markets like you say yesterday. I haven't said that just yesterday. I've said that for a long, long time. And there is. We are going to be moving into a much longer-term uptrend. As a matter of fact, we've already broken out. It's already a fait accompli. It's done. So Nick's saying, on the bright side, the blow-off top in the markets does usually happen after inversion of the yield curve, after all. So that could be good. And that's true. So you have that inversion of the yield curve, and it usually takes about 6 months to sometimes 18 months for things to actually settle in and then have that final plunge. So all good points. I'll have to buy another Bitcoin. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and where it's at so we can have some comic relief. 32.35! Oh, I needed that. Yeah. Look at that. So you agree with individualism, says Ciro, but America has hindered that in every other country in the world for its own benefit for the past century, which is total bullshit. It is such... you sound like a millennial. Hugh Keston says, how can the U.S. dollar be strong when it has already lost over 90% of its value? Because that's all in the past. We have rebalanced everything. Everything gets rebalanced on a continuous basis. Everything is relative to where we are on a continuous basis. So regardless of whether or not it lost 90% of its value compared to way, way back when, now you have to compare it to everything else because everything else has lost its value too. Casper's saying, come on, Ernie, we know you're waiting for 2.5K to load her up. No, like I said, I'm going to start dabbling in it when it gets below 2K or so, right around there. Once it gets there, then I'm going to add a small position. Gets lower, I'll add a little bigger position. Gets a little lower than that, I'll add another little bigger position. And then I'll play that range as it goes up and down, up and down. I'm not a millennial. Please explain my position. I don't have to explain anything. This is my fucking show. You come on here and you make suppositions, claims, whatever, but in a very vague way. I'm just trying to get to what you're trying to say. That's all. So that I can knock you down. Just kidding. Not really, but kind of kidding. The knocking down is ceremonial, by the way. The Earth's money heart is in the Americas. I agree with that, Hayseed. Siri didn't wake up when I said Hayseed. Still didn't wake up. Ernie, where do you see resistance for BTC going down? 2,500 is the first level of resistance. After that, just over 10 or 1,000, 1080, 1,100. But not much between there. Yes, it is your show, and you're wondering why nobody likes you or subscribes to you. Oh, I'm not wondering that at all. Again, you've mischaracterized my position and the reality of things. I've started this show from scratch after somebody... maybe you haven't been around. I started this show from scratch this summer after somebody stole my identity and deleted a very popular YouTube channel I had with about almost 14,000 subscribers, growing at an exponential rate. Because I was talking crap about Bitcoin and crypto, I believe. I mean, I can't think of any other reason why they would have targeted just my YouTube channel, but also went to several other internet properties and fouled them as well. So virtually 9 years of work was wiped out, and so virtually all my power in the internet wiped out. So I had to start from scratch completely, and that's where I'm at now. And so I'm up around 1,700 subscribers right now, and I'm moving along. I think that by maybe January or February of next year, I should probably be up around 2,500, maybe 3,000, and then it will start hitting that curve again. That's what should happen. Spook says, then they shoot at the paper they wrote their Bill of Rights on, Rambo style. All right, I have to read the first comment so I can make sense of that. First, you say, U.S. soldiers drop out of planes over a country as soon as it tries to establish a constitution. Then they shoot the paper they wrote their Bill of Rights on, Rambo style. Man, what the fuck is that? Where do you come up with this shit? We're not into nation building, and I know that the Trumpster certainly isn't into nation building. What is going on there and down here? Keep on getting a little... I think we need another adjustment here. Let's try this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the chroma key and see if we can eliminate that those artifacts. There we go. So I adjusted that. Now, how does that affect... Yeah, see, there's a... there are different settings. That looks pretty good. I mean, I'm getting this little shimmer up here. And I'm thinking that what it really comes down to is that the green screen that I have is really of poor quality. It's an old cloth-based green screen, and what I really need is one of those cinematic, things that you would use to show movies on. A real movie screen that has nice, solid, even color, and then all of this would just look perfect. But right now I have to sit here. Although the green screen software is pretty good, so it's doing a good job. It's just doing the best job it can with the bullshit stuff that I'm working with. Oh, okay, so really then why do you keep on asking us, referring to why I'm not getting more people on this show? Well, I'm not asking for a whole lot. I think that I would just guess that I should have probably another 10, 20, 30 people in on this show, and that would make me happy. And this all could just be I mean, right now we have 50 people, and that's not bad, but it really should be up around 70, And that could be part of my fault, maybe not doing any marketing. I don't do any marketing at all. I just come on, and the show is relatively new, so I've only been doing this 11-11 thing for about a week or so a week and a half. So that has to catch on. And so what I'm going to do, I think, is start doing some serious marketing and start bringing more people in. Capsa says, Ciro, you're mad, and Ernie isn't going to make you happy if that's what you're looking for. That's true. Just skeptical. You're not skeptical. See, a skeptic would use logic, reason, present logical arguments, rather than misrepresent virtually every one of my past positions, future outlook, and arguments in themselves. So I'm just saying that it's tough to argue or tough to debate with somebody like you when you're such a fuckwad. William Bavier. By the way, that's the last I have to say about this. So until you come back with something good, I'm not interested. I had the same thing with Trad there for a while, and he tried like hell, and then he just went away. So I'm just expecting that you'll probably just go away until you, I don't know, until you come back as another person. Maybe you are Trad. I don't know. I never considered that. So here we are. Coffee. So right after I finish up this show, and this show is probably not going to last the full hour, only because I don't see it really going much further. I just wanted to make those points. We had a Goldilocks jobs report. It wasn't too bad, wasn't too good, just about right. Market reacted to it in a positive way. Started to come up. Then there was something else that happened in the market, and I haven't been able to identify it yet. I mean, the only thing I saw at 10 o'clock that can match the time when the market went down was an inventories report that was just slightly off. And that kind of spooked the market, and it dropped not commensurate with the quality of the report. That leads me to believe that there was some other narrative that was put out there that kind of spooked the market. Now, what it could have been is one of the Fed governors saying something. They may have come back in and then remarked in a more hawkish way to the jobs report, and then that's what spooked everybody. That's what I'm guessing. And one way we can find that out is by looking on Forex Factory and seeing if there was such a thing. Now, FOMC member Brainerd, he doesn't speak until 12 o'clock, and that's in 13 minutes. So it wasn't him. There was something that happened at 10 o'clock. Now we could go to the news on Forex Factory and see what happened. But I don't see anything. Trump signs a 2-week stopgap spending bill. Natural gas futures extend gains after EIA reports a bigger than expected a weekly drop in inventory, which means that's actually a positive for the economy. Maybe that had something to do with it. The fact that there's less gas, and so that indicates more use of energy, but that kind of goes against the inventory report. You would think all of that would kind of balance out. So I'm just trying to, in my mind, work all of this out. U.S. consumer sentiment holds. U.S. wholesale inventories climb. That's the thing that I think is most negative. Traders keep bets on one Fed rate hike in 2019. So maybe somebody said something that there may be more Fed hikes. Maybe that is it. I don't know. There was an OPEC meeting, but I think that they've been taken out of the equation. Kudlow says the Chinese car tariffs will come down rapidly. I mean, that sounds like a good thing. So the one Fed hike is what we're expecting. Maybe that expectation was squashed a little bit at 10 o'clock. And Bitcoin just keeps on going down. Going down. Going down, 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 down. I got my feet up on the window. But Bitcoin price keeps coming down. Well, Hayseed, it wasn't a soft jobs report. What it was, and that's the whole point of this, it was a Goldilocks report. So we didn't want a bad report. We didn't want a good report. We didn't want a bad report because that reflects very badly on the economy. We didn't want a really good report because that reflects or implies that the Fed will be more hawkish and they want to squash any advancement or heat in the economy. So what we wanted is something that is a little less than good. And that's what we got. We got a little less than good at the low end of the consensus range. And so that's why I said it was just right. It was the Goldilocks, tepid porridge. End of the content rope. Well, I appreciate that, Sarah, that you come here for my knowledge and experience, my volumetric analysis, my views. But there are some things that don't add up. Oh, you like to just leave it hanging there, So, okay, now I'm saying I'm done until tomorrow with you, Ciro, or actually maybe tonight or the next time. The next show at this time will be on Monday. And then tonight we'll be doing a show at 11 p.m. Eastern. I say we, as in all of us. Because you guys are definitely part of this show. Without you, I don't have this show. That's one of the fundamental bases of this show, are the people in the comment peanut gallery. I'm not trying to disparage you. I value your opinions. And I need you so that I can, yell at you. Miro, how you doing? Love yesterday's show and your Fed role play. Died laughing deep in the night in Europe. That's awesome. Hayseed says that the market will rocket. Okay, I'll be there. Okay, Ciro, just compose and come up with some salient arguments. That's all I ask. But I want you to take a look at this. All right? You don't see Tone Vase putting... All you see with him are these stupid sequential indicators, which are completely bogus in of themselves. His implementation is bogus, so it's bogus on top of bogus. Bullshit is a better word. Virtually every other crypto analyst out there, there are a few exceptions, have been calling this market as I have. And I say few exceptions. You could probably take 3, maybe, since... And you'd have to go back, right, so that they'd be consistent. There are a lot of people that have jumped onto the bandwagon now, and now they claim that they're calling the market. That's bull. They weren't calling it. They're just going with it now and hoping that their newfound epiphany will somehow elevate their credibility or keep their credibility going. Thanks, Sarah. Really appreciate that. Robert Leonardo, shadowstats.com is an interesting alternative statistical report of the health of our economy. Yes, I like shadow stats. Let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at them for a while, but you're absolutely right. Little bit on the conspiracy side, but still okay. When I had the interruption with my business partner, I want you to know that I have a lot of insight to this stuff, particularly with the shadow stats, because that is actually my other business. My other business is corporate intelligence, counterintelligence, corporate espionage, due diligence for M&A activities. That's what I do. Make good money at it. There to Ciro. You are now gone. I'm not going to block you, but I'm going to block you mentally because you're just playing with me, and only I get to play with people. Airgeed. To be fair, Tone Vase came bearish in early Q1, has been calling 1200, 800 since about that time. Yes, but he has also been calling bullish moves in there, too. He has not kept it because he really isn't sure. Did we just get another sharp move down? Yeah. It's interesting. I think the plunge protection team is now taking effect. So we'll go to some of the reports. We'll finish up with that. See how they're faring out. Obviously, this report here is not faring very well. This prediction. Right? It has gone exactly the opposite way of which I expected. We had a mammoth bullish hammer here. Now, it is often the case where right after a bullish hammer, you will have a retraction before things move back up again. Let's see. Here, I'll put that in there like that. All right? So the pink area is after I made the call. So I think that there's, we have a bullish hammer right here. I think that there is still, here we'll expand that a little bit. So we can see that a little better. Big bullish hammer there. See that? And this is a normal thing, I think. After a bullish hammer, there's often a little retraction and then a move up. I think that's what's going to happen. I hope that's what's going to happen. At least from a statistical point of view, that's what normally happens. Maybe this guy will move back up a little bit. We would like to see it come back up to 2680. All right, so that's where we're at there. Let's take a look at pot stocks. All right, so I predicted that after this bear flag, there would be a false breakout, and that's what this arrow indicates, followed by a downward move. So let's hit that and see how that fared out. All right, so there we go. There's the false breakout right there. False breakout, followed by a downward move. Now, here's something interesting. We have moved up again. Isn't that interesting? So that we have a little volatility here. So we had this false breakout, followed by a breakdown of this bear flag. Now it's jumped back up. So there must have been some kind of news or something to gap up like this. So now we have this big gap. Big ass gap. Isn't that interesting? So I don't know what to make of that. Or it could be, you know, maybe my timing is all off here. Maybe this isn't such a well-defined pennant, you know? I mean, you can never really, you know, say that, hey, all these pennants have to fit exactly within your lines. So maybe this is just more consolidation, and then we make that move down. Interesting. I still think we're going down to 25. Very interesting developments. And then we'll look at Bitcoin. And now look at what actually happened. That one seems to be more in line almost exactly with what I said. So I would say I'm 1.5 out of 3 right now. Although the market may still vindicate me, we'll see. So we'll have to see and wait and see how that works out. All right, and now we are 1 hour into this. We'll look at the woods again. We'll finish up with some soothing scenery. And lighten up. Nick is asking, so you think that this is a ripsaw? Yeah. It is trying to shake people out. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking. Trying to shake people out. Miro, that shit was so funny, Mr. Fuzzy Balls. I just downloaded the MP4 of it forever. When I'm in a bad mood, I will play it. Ernie, you are one funny dude. Well, thank you. You're a great analyst on the way down. If you're only half as good on the way up, I'll be following you regardless. Well, thank you. Well, before all of this, I was also analyzing on the way up, so I guess I just have to reprove all of that. I had 9 years of videos that were deleted, 1,100 videos, and I'm doing my best to kind of make up for all that time. I think already I've got about 180 videos that I've created. Okay, so that's it. I want to thank everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Again, a show tonight at 11 o'clock. Monday at 11 a.m., 11 p.m. Tuesday at 11 a.m., 11 p.m., etc., etc. Tell your friends. Share these videos. Give them a thumbs up. I really appreciate your coming by here and joining me in this conversation. Now, it's going to take me a few minutes to shut down the stream because I'm never ready. I am not a pro at this. I am going to stop the stream now. Take care, guys. Love you.